Is it gonna be on TV?
Might be, yeah.
There you go. That's a good distance right
And
there.
action. Today is the fire alarm video of the movie, and my name's Quincy and I have autism. And I'm passionate about a lot of different things, but right now I'm passionate about alarms. So first alert.
Quincy he's a very fun kid. He's very happy. I think he's a very smart boy. He notices a lot of things. He remembers a lot of things. He really wants people around him to be happy as well. That's extremely important to him. He has some very specific interests, and he wants to share those interests with you as well, and he hopes that you will be interested too.
My son is he's a unique and amazing young man. He's the kind of kid that when he walks into the room, you just kind of feel his energy. He's good with people, and I love that about him. It makes me smile. His passion, it varies. So right now, as you may or may not know, it is alarms and alarm systems. You can't help but get drawn. I don't care about alarm systems. Now I do. Because I find myself going through buildings and going, oh, that's a strobe, whatever it is, I'll know the name.
A random Quincy moment, age 18 months.
When he was first born, he was just a very good, what you would call a good baby. We did start noticing pretty early on, actually, he wasn't meeting his milestones, but he wasn't like a fussy baby or anything like that.
I've been working with children and families that are living with autism for most of my career. And for me, I remember moments that stood out where other kids around his age were able to engage others, and there's a certain level of play that they could participate in. But he was more enamored by doing things off on his own. Like he would take building blocks and he'd put them in a line, for example. I'm like, oh boy, I know what that means. I think I was probably in a little bit of denial. Like initially I'm like, nah, people put things in a row.
I was fairly worried, and I had already at that point started realizing that there's a very good possibility that he has autism.
When our son was first diagnosed with autism, Autism Edmonton was the first group that I called. They helped me just cut through the rubbish, and they were very straight. They understood that time is of the essence, and you don't want to have to go through a group of people or services that you know aren't ultimately going to be in your best interest or your children's best interest. So they kind of pointed us in the right direction. Can you tell us, here, why don't you tell us about...
Are you being a boss
No.
on me?
Why are you yelling? I'm just going to ask you a question.
So many autism families are isolated. A lot of them can't take their kids out. It's just almost an impossible thing to do. Autism Edmonton basically comes in and helps alleviate some of that, right, and make the world a little bit of a better place for people and for families that live in the autism world.
When you use the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child, that's a phrase that means a lot to me, particularly with a journey around autism. You cannot do this by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself. There are a lot of families and moms and dads that have been absolutely burned out by attempts to navigate life by themselves when their children have autism. So that village is necessary.
Quincy is really nice. He is my best brother I've ever had and my only brother I've ever had. He is not so bad.
Well, today we're going to the park, and yeah, so this is a movie that we're making, okay?
Quincy, I would say, has a team, and I'm only part of that team. I don't get to raise my own child. There's our family, grandmothers that watch him after school. He works with speech therapists. He works with occupational therapists.
There's been some really cool progress with our son over the last couple of years. And I attribute a lot of that to the supports that he's received.
Autism Edmonton, they connect me with the rest of the autism community, and they connect Quincy also with the rest of the autism community. You know, I can envision a future for him. I personally know some parents that are not able to envision that kind of future for their kids. In some respects, I feel a little guilty, I'm not going to lie, because I know not everyone gets supports and gets early intervention. And so I just feel like we're blessed.